Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Pitch Track Chronicles. I'm Uncle Tats here with Donald, and apologize for a little bit of the tardiness. I got held up at the post office, dropping off some family gifts that have to be mailed out for the holiday. But nonetheless, we are here. Better late than never, they say, Donald. And the other thing that is late is this news on Imai, and he's a little behind. He was supposed to have his press conference today that he signed with the Yankees. But nevertheless, I mean, the Yankees were named as one of the finalists to land him, along with Chicago. And there was a conflicting report where you were seeing how, he's really in favor of those two clubs. And then Jack Curry announced last night on X that the Yankees are not in the running. At this point, they're not expected to land him. So it leads to believe, one, I think Jack Curry's a very reliable source. He would have put it out if there was no validity to it. So that really does lead me to believe that, yes, the Yankees want him, but they're going to want him under their terms, not his. And that's dangerous when you're dealing with free agency. What's your take on what the standoff is with the Yankees really signing anybody that wasn't on the team last year? We got into that on Wednesday, how it just seems like they're just looking for all these reunions for players. And we're going to get into Luke Weaver along the lines as well today. What do you think about all this BS with Imai? Is he coming? Is he not? What does your gut tell you?
God, it's really hard to know because, you read X, right? And then you've got one reporter saying that the Yankees are really hot for him, and then it's going down the wire, and then they're feeling good about him. Then you got Jack Curry that just basically closed that down completely, shut it down. It's hard to know because we've got one. For instance, we've got one tweet here from MLB Live. Yankees and Imai are trying to get it done. There's some incentives and a few side notes in the deal that would have to work out, but it all feels mutual. No, it's not done, but it feels close to happening. And that's for his entire market. It sounds like he's close to signing. It sounds like the Yankees are right in there. And it sounds like the player is strongly considering the offer. I'm not going to give a timeline, but I wouldn't hesitate to bet the Yankees on this based on what's going on. Right? So you got that. And then you got Jack Curry, who says basically the complete opposite. And honestly, I don't know what to believe. I mean, obviously, Jack Curry is more in the know because he's an insider. But, you kind of hope that maybe on this one, he's a little bit off. He did say to stay tuned, but he also said that the Yankees aren't as hot for him as other Japanese free agents in the past. And so he doesn't envisage it. He doesn't foresee it. And the Yankees are more likely to trade for a starting pitcher as opposed to signing a free agent pitcher. So, I mean, where do we go with that?
It's really it's another one of these situations where it's really tough to read between the lines, and trying to decipher which report is the real report. Because you really, I want to trust that Jack Curry would not put anything out that had no validity, like I said before. But there are too many other, beat writers and accounts that are saying that this deal is really close. Like you were saying, it's coming down to, the fine print on a deal, as far as like incentives and things like that. This is a guy where if the Yankees back off on Imai, right? Let's take Jack Curry's point of view for the moment. If they back off on Imai because of a couple little tidbits of the fine print, I think they're making a huge mistake. Huge mistake. And I'll tell you why. I want Imai mainly because one, I think he has tremendous stuff. I think with a guy like Imai, you have to look beyond the analytics and look at the gravitas of a player. Here is somebody that could have easily walked right into LA and been with all his other, players from Japan. He's like, no, I want to be the guy that beats them. That is that mentality that the Yankees need. They need that bulldog that's going to be like, you know what? I could have easily just, gone joined the 2 time, the back to back World Series champs and the Dodgers. I'm going to go with them. I'm going to guarantee them that three-peat. Instead, he's like, no. I want to knock them off their high horse. Why would the Yankees not want to be in on a guy with that mentality? Like, why would they pull back on the reins now? I think that if they really do that, now, if they give him a legitimate contract and another team gives them a legitimate contract and he has to choose between the two, and he doesn't choose the Yankees, I mean, it is what it is. It's going to suck. It's going to hurt. It's going to piss us off. But that's the business of free agency. There's no guarantee that you're the guy they're going to come and dance with. But if the Yankees themselves back out of the deal, then yeah, there's going to be a serious problem.
It's just you're trying to read the tea leaves. That this is the stage we're at, and it's really hard to know, because when you have Jack Curry, who is normally right on the pulse of what Yankee plans are, says there's not really a connection, but stay tuned with Imai. When you look back on past Japanese players, there was a connection with those players. I don't see that with Imai. All quotes from Jack Curry yesterday, it doesn't really lead you to much positivity that they're in on him. Unless he just is guessing. Who knows? Maybe in this one he might be wrong, but
let's hope so.
It says to me, the way that Jack Curry's framed it is that they're kind of interested. They've put out a bid, but it's not really a serious one. That's what you'd kind of maybe glean from what Jack Curry said. But then when you see the other report that I just read out from MLB News, it sounds like the Yankees and Imai are on like the 10-yard line.
Yeah, well, I would prefer if they were on the 1-yard line, but at least they're in the red zone. But yeah, Imai just opens up. It broadens the options for the Yankees, which is what they need, because they can't keep bringing the same thing back over and over and over again, and thinking it's going to work. That's insanity. It is. Look what running it back has done for the Phillies. They've been able to kind of make a few adjustments. I mean, they locked up Schwarber; they needed him, but you get these teams like they're like, well, we keep making a play. One of these years, it's going to work. But if you're not making key additions or necessary subtractions, you're just going to end up in the same situation every offseason. And it's just that's my opinion on it. And I see you bringing up a couple of comments. Let's get to the chat. And what's going on to everybody in the chat? We hope everybody is having a great day. Start to their day. He's had a good week. The holidays around the corner. Everybody's cheery, chippy, a little depressed, a little broke, but we still value. If you want to join our chat, it's very easy. Go over on YouTube, hit that sub button. You wait a minute, you give us your opinion. But Donald, pull up some of these comments on Imai. What are the people thinking?
So FJ seems to think positively about this. Cashman doesn't like anyone knowing what he's doing. Cashman is talking to Imai, so Curry's job is to dash that idea. I like your thinking on that. I hope you're right. Although, if you look back in the past, in 2023, Curry said that he felt really good that the Yankees were going to land Yamamoto. So maybe it's just his opinion. Louis G. Imai is our future and also way into the Japanese market. Yes, absolutely agree with that. That's what we want. We need to get into the Japanese market. We have missed on the Japanese market repeatedly, and we need to get back into it.
It's pretty sad that you have to go all the way back to Tanaka the last time that we really dominated the market, were the team to go to. Stephen B's comment here. Can you read this comment? Of course we can. Okay. Untold Imai is signed. We won't know. Cashman doesn't leak much. I think him being burned in the past, keeping it close so no one knows who we after. Well, yes, that's one thing that drives us crazy, but we also will compliment Cashman on. He does keep his information very close to the vest. Yeah, he does not lay out his plan when and if he has one. And I think it does keep the market on the edge of its seat, because you never know when the organization is going to step in and look to get somebody, or when they're going to back off of somebody. So that's what makes these reports so tricky, is because you don't know who's telling the truth. We won't know until Imai makes a decision.
Well, at least that's optimistic, and I hope CVB is spot on. Yeah. I guess we keep fingers crossed, because that would be really, really exciting if that's the case. So thank you, Stevie B.
I want to go to Doran's
dude. If you're spot on, you'll be our inside source from now on.
Pull this comment. I'm going to pull this comment. I was hungry earlier. Now I'm freaking starving. I am stuffed 2 hours ago. Took 40 pounds of brisket. I love brisket. Chicken, turkey, sausages off the smoker. I love that. If you ever had any type of food off of the smoker, it's insane. Insanely good. He's got company tomorrow. I'm gonna be on the next flight. I'm coming over. Because smoked brisket, I'm all for it. Let's see.
CBB does have a point here. CBB does have a point here about the Yankees being burned in the Japanese market twice, if not more than that. So he's probably keeping his cards close to his vest. So, there's some positivity here. I feel, I don't know, if you want my gut is to go with the first report that I gave you from MLB News, that the Yankees are seriously negotiating with him. That's my gut. There just seems to be too much smoke without fire.
Yeah.
So, let's hope so. This guy would be fantastic. His mentality is beat the Dodgers. That's the kind of mentality you want. That's the kind of winning mentality you want. That's the kind of person you want in that rotation. Someone that wants to beat the Dodgers, not join the Dodgers. Excellent. So we need to be really aggressive here. Yeah, we need to be really aggressive here.
We haven't had that.
Duran points out. Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't. That's what makes the Jack Curry do. What he was saying yesterday. That's what has me a little worried, because this is somebody that if Jack is putting it out, then it was something that was a serious discussion. Was it is it that the Yankees don't want to kind of go along with some of the incentives? Is it the years? Is it the AAV? What is making the Yankees so afraid to improve their team and improve their rotation? You're going to have a season starting without Cole, Rodon, and Schmidt. You're putting a lot of pressure on your pitching staff if you don't add somebody to that until they get back, and then that even broadens your options once you have a healthy rotation. Like, you're going to put it all on Fried's shoulders again? Fried held his job in the regular, did his job, and burned out by the postseason. And it's unfortunate for Fried because the first half of the year, he was the Cy Young favorite, and then just completely, unraveled a little bit, and when you're the guy and there's no other the guy behind you or surrounding you, you're gonna have those kind of hiccups in the second half of the season. It's baseball's it's a long season. 162 games is a lot. And pitchers are, I think, in this day and age, we could beat our chests and be like, well, pitchers used to go 300, 150 innings a game, and pitch back to back double headed. I mean, you're going back to the days before we were even born. And wanting pitchers like that. That's not the reality. This is the way that it is now. Pitchers are going to go into 6th, 7th inning. And I think that was because, a lot of the money they're investing in their bullpens. And wanting, having to justify having, such a big bullpen staff. You never heard of relievers when, back when we were growing up, Donald. It wasn't, you had your guy that would come in, close it out. But you didn't have these guys coming in the 6th, 7th inning. It was unheard of. So, it makes you wonder why they, why the starting pitching. That's why I don't want to spend. I don't want to overspend for a starter that's only going to go 5, 6 innings. You're not. I think Yamamoto, with the way that he could, go deep into a game, he's just as much of a unicorn as his teammate Ohtani, being able to do what he does.
He's so good.
If we had Yamamoto,
I was literally crushed when Yamamoto.
I know. That was a sad episode.
It really was. We did a live stream, and I was just like, we're cooked. And I was right, because that guy's fantastic. Absolutely amazing pitcher. So let's get back to Imai. I'm looking furiously for any kind of more information regards to this. And I did come across this, so let's share the screen. Here we go. According to reports, suggest the Yankees and the Phillies are both contenders in the pursuit of Imai, with the decision expected soon. Both teams are reportedly aware, as per ESPN's Jeff Passan, of the type of deal Imai is seeking to begin his MLB career in 2026. According to Passan, if the Yankees and Phillies are serious about acquiring Imai, they must be prepared to offer a long-term contract. Imai wants years in baseball. He could end up with the largest contract amount among the remaining top-tier pitchers. Consequently, the Yankees, Phillies, or any other franchise interested will need to contemplate a competitive long-term offer to secure his talents for the upcoming season. So, again, it feels like when you read the tea leaves, there's too much smoke without fire. So I would say that we are in on him. That's I'm confident enough to say that we're very in on him, and maybe more in on him than Curry has said has indicated. Does that mean that we land them or not? I don't know, because the Yankees have lost so many bidding over the last few years that I'm not confident in anything anymore. What the Yankees do, but I am confident to say that we are interested in this guy, and let's hope that we can close the deal. Would you guys be willing to give him the biggest contract of remaining free agents in terms of starting pitching on the
So
market?
say it
If you
together.
look at the market,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because
If
it
you
gives
look at that
it,
market, but Mike Ping's have gone off the board. He's gone to the Padres again. So, yeah, absolutely. I have no issue with that. And salute to over 102 people in the chat. So, salute to you guys. If y'all are watching on YouTube, please hit the like button. Show us that you love us. Show us that you want keep the lights on in the Pinstripe Chronicles family. So, if you do so by hitting the like button. Got Nez in the chat. Hey, fellas. Don't know what the Yankees are up to. I'm just happy Cashman realized that they have too many lefties in the lineup. How many Ivy League MIT graduates he has around him again? Yeah, that update from Duran, yeah, well, I hate you too, brother. And so that other update from Jack Curry was a little bit off. I didn't like what I heard there was when he says that the Yankees are looking for more righty bats for the bench. I'm like, what? The bench?
no, but,
the starting lineup.
That's what puts the urgency for me with Imai. Because it gives you the flexibility once Cole and Rodon are healthy, you have options to trade. You can move, you have Warren, who I said I think has better. I think Warren, this is going to sound a little strange to say it. I think Warren has more trade value than Heel, just because of the medical history. And Warren took the ball every game last year. So I think Warren might be one of those guys that could go onto the trade market that you make available. Heel can easily just be slotted into a bullpen role. I know he's not in favor of that, but hey, you're on the contract. This is what we need you to do. Do you want to help the team or not? If not, then you're gone too. And you could use Heel as your long man if the starter has a rough outing. At least you have somebody that can come in, eat 3-4 innings without burning out your bullpen. Because we know at some point one of these pitches is just going to have a game where they just get lit up. That's baseball season. So Imai it opens up the doors for so many other options, and it just takes one signing. Maybe you have to go that extra mile, add a year. So what? You did it for Rodon. You did it for Fried. Why stop now?
Yeah.
Why stop now for your pitching?
That rotation would be disgusting. Could you guys imagine?
Well, let's get into that real quick.
Okay.
What would be what's your expected? What's your rotation to start the season? So opening day, what's your rotation with and without Imai? How do you see it playing out?
Well, I mean, it's kind of obvious without Imai. We kind of broke it down the last time. I think you'd probably see Yarbrough as a fifth starter. Will Warren would probably be your fourth starter. Luis Gil's your third starter. And then Max Fried would be your ace, and Cam Schlitter would be your number two. That's what I would expect. Duran thinks it could be ERC, Rodriguez Cruz.
I'm not opposed to it. Okay.
I'm definitely not opposed to that because he is terrific. But the Yankees did sign Yarbrough for a reason, so I'd edge towards Yarbrough in that instance if they don't bring in Imai. Um, if Imai is there, then you slot Imai in as your third starter to start the year in spring training, and then move Louis Heel down to the fourth starter spot. Fifth starter would probably be Will Warren, but I wouldn't be surprised if they trade him.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I would say that's probably the rotation. I mean, that would be terrific. You got Max Fried, Cam Schlittler, Imai, Louis Heel, fifth starter, Will Warren. And then you wait a month or so, and then you add Garrett Cole and Rodon. Filthy. Absolutely filthy. Pure filth. That rotation is filth. It's probably the best rotation that, I mean, if we're all just talking in hypotheticals because we haven't landed him yet, but if we do get him and you add him to already what we already have, rotation wise, that rotation is absolutely filthy and a lot to be excited about there. Probably the best like rotation on paper that we've had
in a long time. Yeah.
since like what, 09?
I mean, you think the Yankees sign Imai, and you're going into your season. Fried is going to be your opening day starter. He's earned it. He deserves it. No argument there. Imai is your number two. You have Heel is your three. Schlittler is your four. You rotate, Schlittler or Heel depending on your favoritism. And Warren is your five. Yarborough's your long man out of the bullpen. And just think of what your rotation could be when you get back a healthy Cole and Rodon. Imagine Cole, Fried, Rodon, Imai, and Schlittler as your starting rotation. Holy shit! And I'm purposely leaving Schlittler near the back end of the rotation, just to let him continue to build in his confidence. I don't want to put too much on him, especially with the other names that we'll have, and I don't think it would hurt his ego. I know a lot of people are saying that Schlittler should be your number two behind Fried. I heard that. I'm like, let's slow down a little bit.
What's going on?
So.
What's going on, brother?
And I do agree with Doran.
I do. Appreciate it. I don't think it's a big deal, but I would edge toward Cam being the number two right now, because of what he did in the playoffs. I mean, it was one of the greatest postseason performances of all time against the Red Sox. So he's already proven he can do it. So I'm trusting that. I'm going with that. He Duran's right. He does have balls. He has balls. So I'm edging towards that, man. So I would probably have Max Fried, then him, then Imai.
Yeah, I mean, Yarbrough is going to be in the rotation if they don't land Imai. So yes, Yarbrough was brought in to be in the rotation until they're healthy. If they're able to get Imai, that gives you the flexibility for Yarbrough to be your spot starter, bullpen long man. And that's not a knock on Yarbrough. I think that's a spot in the pitching staff that is completely underrated and underappreciated. Having a solid long man that can give you a spot start. Do not take that kind of position for granted.
he'd be a solid long man. I have no issue there.
Yep.
And Duran points out the ERC. This is interesting. I think the Yankees had ERC rated higher in their system than Cam Schlittler. That's how good ERC is. ERC is insane, guys. So I'm looking forward to seeing what ERC does in spring. What role they have for him. You have to feel really good about him.
Now,
I have a lot of I hear a lot of exciting things about ERC. He's going to be filthy. He's got really elite stuff. And they actually view him higher in their system than Cam Schlittler, which is insane. So keep an eye out on him. And maybe that's part of the Yankees thinking here, that they want him to be involved. Otherwise, there's no downside. You got one hell of an arm there, just sitting, waiting. Hell to the old Sarge. How are you, my friend?
What's going on,
Healing
Sarge?
Man's Heart says the issue isn't pitching, is contact hitting. Yeah, we'll get into the offense in a minute. But yeah, back to ERC. Keep an eye out on him as we head into spring training. This guy is filthy with a capital F.
So to kind of segue, would you to a little bit of the talk about the offense? Would you piss up on Imai because of ERC?
No, the more the merrier.
Bingo. Thank you.
Absolutely, the more the merrier.
I love having an excess of pitches. I really do. Because we all remember, I think our biggest argument ever live was the Jordan Montgomery trade. Like, we were almost ready to jump each other through the screen. Like, both of us were so opposite on that. And I always say you never move on from pitching, because you never know. It's pitching is too unpredictable. And I know it seems a little contradictory because I'm saying, you can move on from Warren or Heel on the trade market. But it leads into the Yankees, if they want to go all in on Imai, as they should, you're going to have to fill the rest of your roster through the trades. And pitching is always a commodity. It's something that every team is always looking to upgrade. So it does, especially when you have a guy. That's why I said I like Warren on the market more than Heel, just because his health history. He took the ball every start. He was the rookie leader in strikeouts for most of the season. So Warren has stuff. So it's that might be where,
you know what, you're higher on Warren than I am. I'm not high on Warren.
Well, you can't. I know you were reluctant with him last year. You can't deny he had a solid year. You can't. What, you don't think he has any value at all?
I'm not high on him though. I think he's a fifth starter. I don't love
So what?
stuff.
Who doesn't need it? The Mets need pitching.
No, I think he'll have value. I'm just saying I wouldn't have him rated higher. I'm saying he has value, but I wouldn't have him rated higher than Luis Gil. Like, Luis Gil has got elite stuff. You've seen it. I know he's got the injury history, but his stuff is just a million times better than Will Warren's stuff. Luis Gil can be an ace of a staff. Will Warren is no more than a fourth or fifth starter. And hey, everybody needs a fourth or fifth starter. I'm not saying he isn't solid, but I'm just not that high on him. I just don't love his stuff. I don't think it's that good. Okay. That's just my opinion. You saw how awful he was in his rookie year. He did get better last year for sure. He still had starts where it reminded you that
called up, it was tough.
He did have starts where it reminded you that, oof, he has some bad games. But Yeah, I'm not. I'm just particularly. I'm just not that high on him, but I am high on Elmer Rodriguez Cruz. He won the Yankees minor league player of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and he finished with a 2.58 ERA with 176 strikeouts and 150 innings. To high A, double A, and triple A, and his stuff. He can. It's high velo stuff between 95 and 100. I mean, that guy is a beast, and we got him from the Sox, so that's a pretty good deal. So yeah, keep an eye out on ERC. Very high on him. Warren, I'm not that high on, but that's just because he just doesn't have great stuff. But I'm not saying he hasn't got decent stuff, and it's just when Will Warren, when he goes through like the third time through the order, that's when he starts getting hit. So I'd rather trade Warren than Louis Heel. But we do have a different viewpoint. YOLO says, I'd rather trade Heel over Warren. Warren had his first full season. He will get better. But I also agree with FJ here. Warren had trouble with a lineup of contact hitters. So,
well, that's why I would say move on from Warren before everybody figures him out.
Well, yeah. Listen, I'd trade Will Warren, especially if you land Imai and ERC is like maybe close. I would definitely trade one of them for sure.
No, ERC is he's going to get his chance in spring training. I have no doubt about that. No doubt. But you're going to have to, they got to do something. Yes, it's great to have such an excess of pitching, but right now the Yankees are looking at a 7-man rotation. So, it's how many pitches you can only carry so many pitches on the staff. So who's this is why ERC is gonna get yanktified. And it's gonna piss me off.
I mean, Warren, he really did work in his second year. In his first year, obviously, he had that 10.32 ERA. We gave up 26 earned runs in just 6 outings, 1-3 record. To then come back and have a very solid year last year, 9-8 with a 4.43 ERA is a considerable improvement. 4.43 is absolutely fine as a 4th or 5th starter. So I'm definitely not shitting on him, and
no,
he worked hard. He got his whip down from almost 2 to 1.3. So it's all moving in the right direction, and yes. you can't overlook the strikeout numbers. The strikeout numbers were pretty impressive. So, I mean, stuff wise, he's by far not my favorite, but he's got something. He's got something about him, and you got a good point pointing out the health. He seems to be a hell of a lot more healthy than Heel to this point. So, you've got a point there too.
I like this comment here because I brought up, with the Yanktified, if there ever was a pitcher that was the poster child of being Yanktified, do we think that ERC will get the Debbie Garcia treatment? Have a great spring training and not get called up. I think that it's possible. Because when the Yankees lock into somebody, they don't give up. Look at Volpe. And they will. Hill was a rookie of the year, so he's not going anywhere. And they have a lot of faith in Warren because they're going to want people that are tried and true until Cole and Rodon and Schmidt are healthy. Because we've completely forgot about Schmidt. And when he comes into the equation. So that's what I'm saying. The Yankees have so much pitching, you can't start everybody. Somebody's gonna get
let's not forget about Chase Hampton. Let's not forget about Chase Hampton.
Exactly. Yeah, there's another one.
very injury prone, but another exciting arm. Clark Schmidt.
Hampton, I'll believe him when I see him. I don't. I think that I don't think Hampton's in the equation at this point.
And to be honest, I'm kind of the same with Clark Schmidt as well. I I mean, he'd be a bonus at this point. I'm not quite sure when you expect him to be back. I think he'd be much later than Garrett Cole and Rodon. What would you say, like July, August for him? Really like Clark Schmidt. Very unfortunate with the injuries. Very unfortunate. So I'm a big fan of him.
I think of leaving Schlittler out of it because it was such a small sample size, but it's so much fucking promise. When you look at Schmidt, Heel, and Warren, I put Schmidt above the both of them. I just think Schmidt has that kind of grit that you need. He's not going to blow you away with velocity, but I think Schmidt is more of a calculated pitcher. So that makes it tough. I like all three of them. But there's not enough room for all three of them. Somebody's either going to get traded or move to the pen. And I think Heel.
I wonder whether they might rethink Schmidt with his second Tommy John that they think, you know what?
Yeah.
We either move you or we transition you into the bullpen where it might be less taxing on your arm.
Well, I don't think they're going to do anything until he's healthy. They're not going to trade a player out on injury. You're going to have to come back and show that he can still pitch.
Stuff and Things says, Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Yankees don't go above and beyond for free agents anymore. That's true. Wishful signings. Tucker Belli 2-year deal for Real Muto Bichette. I'm not expecting. I'd be surprised if they actually land a serious free agent. But Imai, I think they are in on Imai. But as for the others, I'm not confident because for that reason you gave, the Yankees are just not. They're self-satisfied. They pat themselves on the back and say, "Right, we're good. We're really happy to be just in the playoffs." So
that's their goal: make the playoffs and cross their fingers. And they have no aspirations for a World Series. No. The players do. Leadership, I don't think the ownership group doesn't.
Evan is upset we didn't get King. I'm not.
No, and you know what? A lot of people are like, "Oh, I can't believe you went back to the Padres with the situation they're in." You know what? I give a lot of respect for King for going back to San Diego. Because don't forget, we don't have Soto unless we give up King.
Yeah.
They were so adamant that King was in that trade. Respect to him for being loyal to the team that pushed for him so hard. So, I got a lot of respect for King.
Yeah, and for me, it's just we've been there, done that with King. He was amazing. Reunions rarely work for me. Like if you look at Aroldis Chapman, he was fantastic. Then we traded him. We brought him back, and he just wasn't as good. Reunions, I'm not that big on reunions. I think once it's done, it's done. So I'm okay moving on from him.
What are your thoughts on Weaver, real quick? Great
arm. Yes, let's talk about Weaver. Honestly, the Mets are at this point laughable. Like I was querying the Yankees because they only sign people from within their own building, but I'm genuinely
comical.
Amazed. I'm amazed that David Stearns is getting away with this. His entire team is ex-Yankees. Like what are they doing?
I saw two images that made me freaking laugh. Well, one was a comment on X, and one was a photo. And the comment I saw is, they're going to be naming themselves, instead of the Amazing Mets, they're going to be the Queens Bombers. And the other one was a picture of this year's Mets alternative jersey. What's it? The City Connect jersey.
Yeah.
Was the Yankees road jersey. And I thought those two stuck in my head. When I saw the jersey, I was fell out of my chair laughing because I just thought it was so appropriate.
Like, there isn't an organization more obsessed with the Yankees than the Mets.
Would I have taken Weaver back to kind of get somebody that I trust into the bullpen? Yeah. Am I upset that he's gone? No. He was one of those that they brought him back, cool. If they let him go, cool. Once he had that injury, he wasn't the same. Like I said last show, you never know what's going to happen, how a player is going to improve with full rest in the offseason, but let it be another team's problem. Let it be their question mark, not ours.
It's just, what are they doing? Devin Williams, Luke Weaver? What? I don't get it.
Now, the one argument I heard that I'm like, you know what? It is clever because we're always talking about relievers having alternate years where they're good and bad. They alternate, and the arms that Stearns is bringing in were guys that kind of had an off year. So analytically, he's banking on these pitchers bouncing back and having a solid year. It might work for them. If it does, great. No sweat off my back. We're not battling them in a division. So I'm not losing sleep over what the Mets do. Don't care.
No, I never have cared what the Mets do.
I can care less what players they bring in. I guess
the only time I ever cared what the Mets done in free agency was when they got Juan Soto. Yeah, that was the only time I cared. But even once
we had one show
happened,
where we wigged out, and then we were over it. Yeah,
I mean, I'm still not over losing Soto because Soto was my guy, and I hated the optics of losing him. But
the optics still hurt. Yeah.
Overall, when that happened, I never once checked the Mets box score. I think the only time I ever looked at a Mets box score was like never did last year. Never. I mean, obviously when they played us, I watched the game. I never cared, but the Mets did. With or without Soto, didn't care. So that's not about to change now. But it is hilarious that they've just signed the entire Yankee team. Soto and Weaver and Williams and so on and so forth. I mean, do they have a scouting network over there in Queens? Do they have one? Because there's more to baseball than what just goes on with the Yankees. It's bizarre, absolutely bizarre. And you're right. Soto does look miserable, and he did make his bed, and he did screw it up.
Well, that was what I wanted to bring up. How does Soto think about all these former Yankees that he saw, he got away from, all following, now on the same roster as him? I mean, that's got to be a little tough. He's like, I thought I was done with you guys, and now you're all over here. They better start winning. That's all I gotta say, Met fans that are watching. Your team better start winning because if they continue down this path, he will opt out.
Start winning? When did they ever win? The 80s? That's all I'll say about the Mets. No one cares. Anyway, let's get back to other stuff. Our offense.
Let's get back to our own house.
Yes. Cody Bellinger.
Still.
He wants a lot of years, brother. He wants a lot of years.
Then let him go. I don't care. I don't care about Bellinger anymore. I'm tired.
But you're all in on Cody Bellinger. What made you change your mind?
I'm laying down on it. the last couple of days, it's I'm like, enough. Just make up your fucking mind. I'm so sick of this freaking. I hate the off season because I get all amped up. These are the guys that I'm really looking forward to getting. Tucker wants an astronomical amount of money, like he's one of the top players in the league. Bellinger wants a lifetime contract. You know what? What other options? Go somewhere else. Look at option C at this point.
Which is exactly what my argument was from the start. So, according to Jack Curry, nobody has come close to meet Scott Boris's demands of Cody Bellinger. From what we understand, he's wanting in the region of $400 million.
It's not
over like between 6 and 8 years.
Can I get? I'm gonna be a dick for a minute. All right. I think Judge should actually restructure his contract. These players, and I understand the market was when it was when Judge signed. The fact that all these players are now exceeding Judge's value and what he's worth financially is it sucks. The Yankees should give him a fucking big raise because the Yankees would be completely irrelevant without him. I think they should give him another $200 million a year in a contract. Bellinger's going to make more than Judge, not Tucker. Vlad I get. Vlad's a great player. Vlad I would put, in the same market with Judge, Soto, but I don't see Tucker as one of those guys. I really don't.
I don't know what he's asking for. I mean, it could be anything.
I read a report Toronto's going to go to 425 on the contract. I'm like, are you fucking high?
Honestly, Boris is completely overvalued Bellinger, completely. He is not worth. I mean, we know for a fact that he's wanting between 6 and 8 years, right? I don't know what the overall value would be. I assume that it would probably be like 200 million plus, but I'm not even considering that. That's absurd. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. So I hope the Yankees walk away. I'm not giving him any more than 4. I mean, even 5 is too much. This is what Boris does, man. That's gave me a bad feeling that when that Bellinger is his agent is Boris, because that means that he'd rather the money. So that's why when Bellinger opted out, I was like, I'm good, because when you're in with Scott Boris, it's about the money.
Yeah.
Money. So if you really want to be a Yankee that much, he's not really making those inroads, is he? He's not, because he's wanting the money. I mean, and God bless him. God bless him. But that doesn't mean that we should be in on that. I'm not going any more than 5 years. Any more than 4, actually, regardless of 5. Healing Man's Heart says maximum 5 years and 32. I'm not even giving 32 million for Bellinger. I don't think he's worth it. I guarantee that he's not worth it. If you look at his career numbers, man, of his 8-year career, like 4 of them were bad. He is someone that is incredibly inconsistent. He's had half his career bad, half his career good. You cannot give 6 to 8 years for that. He's inconsistent. He's not the offensive force that he was. He's had his MVP year. He's not having one again. Last year he was good. Last year he was our second best player. I thank him for it, but if he really wanted to be a Yankee, he should have just opted in. Once he opted out, then I'm done. Then I'll look for more of a better value. I think you can find someone that can give you 27 home runs and 90 RBIs for a hell of a lot cheaper than 6 to 8 years worth, God knows what, 35 million AAV or something like that. Forget it. I'm not doing it. If you get to that point, why not just sign Kyle Tucker, who's the better player and the younger player? That's my reasoning. If Cody Bellinger wants that much, wouldn't you just want to go, you know what? If we're going to pay that extraordinary amount of money for someone who's not worth it, I might as well get it for someone who's much better player, Kyle Tucker.
All right. Well, here's the, to go off the numbers that were in the chat, and I'm right with you. I said I would give him 5 years 4 years with one year as an option. It's team player,
right.
And I would keep the salary between 28 to 32 a year. Right. Because you're getting one player that can play 4 positions. So that's where I'm putting the value in. Right. I've said it over and over again. Whether you agree with me or not, that's how I look at it. We can agree to disagree all we want. You want that 6th year? Well, now your max is 28. I'm lowering the AAV for every year he wants. You want 9 years? I'm only giving you 25 a year. And I don't care. The more years you want, the less I'm paying you per year. You want to make more money, you got to take shorter years. I understand, and look, and I understand because Bellinger, he'll sign a 3-4 year deal. By the time he goes back into free agency, he's on the downside of his prime, and he may not ever be able to get a contract. That's why I respect the fact that he's pushing also for the years. No argument there. Look, it's your life. You negotiate how you see fit for you.
Right.
I don't see that many years as a fit for the Yankees. Really don't.
No.
I think that would be a disservice. Because now you're putting your farm system even deeper in, on the waiting list. That's why I didn't want Grisham. I think, but it's only 1 year. Gives another year for Jones to develop, work on his swing a little bit, reduce shrink the hole in his bat because he does swing and miss a lot. So let Jones have 1 more year in the minor leagues in AAA. If it's really so much improved, but you have no choice, then you move on from Grisham. You bring up Jones, but bringing Bellinger long term, I think is going to really be that'll be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, Evan's spot on here. With the lockout, he wants stability. I don't blame him for opting out. I don't blame him for opting out. I'm just saying that when he opted out, then for me...
Well, you said once you opt out, you can't come back in.
Yeah. I don't blame him for opting out, but nobody is paying the price Boris wants, which is why I wasn't that interested once he opted out, because I know that when you're in bed with Scott Boras, then it's really about money, not necessarily the team. So I could find better value. Having said that, the Yankees literally are paying $22 million for Trent Grisham, and that's just the worst value in the world. Let's be honest, it's garbage. But for me, when Grisham accepted that qualifying offer, I was out.
Yeah, we were not happy
as well, because I mean, if we didn't do the stupidity of that Grisham qualifying offer, then you could have just signed Cody Bellinger, and I wouldn't really necessarily care. You stick him in center field, and then you're fine. And then it still leaves you another left fielder to add another bat. But because I just don't want to roll this offense back. I really don't. I think this offense is due to have a down year. So I want another offensive. I want another decent bat in there. But now that Grisham's in there, then you sign Cody Bellinger. Then we're just going to roll this whole thing back, and then there'll be too many lefties, and not enough righties, and then I'm sorry, adding a bunch of righties for the bench isn't going to cover that. So that's why I hated, still hate, and will always hate giving Grisham the qualifying offer. I hated it. Just it completely screwed the offseason value-wise. So absolutely just despicable move, frankly. If Grisham is the exact same year, will it be worth it? Sure, but I mean, I think.
The choices the chance of that is ridiculous. I look. Yeah. Can he come close? Yes. Is he going to match? No. Yeah, I like this. I want to pull up. What's going on with the North? I saw you sneaking in. I do want to. Where was? It was here. I put it in there. Tucker's WAR was 4.6 in 2025. I heard. Don't know if it's correct. $8 million for each WAR point. 8 times 4.6 is 36.8 per year. Sounds about right. Look, it's not so much. And if that's how they're calculating it, well, what happens if the next 2 years he posts a 1 ERA, a 1 point something?
Well, one WAR, which he's been having over the last couple of years.
You know, that's why you can't. When they have these quote unquote contract years where they just go nuts, you can't sign them off of that. You got to look at the body of work, which is to your argument with Bellinger. You're going off the body of work, not 1 year. And that's why I don't really push back with you.
Yeah, the body of work is Cody Bellinger's best year is Kyle Tucker's baseline. Last year was not a great year for Kyle Tucker. It wasn't. But it was basically the same statistical year as Cody Bellinger. And then you look at the previous years, and Tucker's WAR has constantly been in the 5 range. If you look at Bellinger's, a lot of it has been in the 1 range, the -1 range, 1 range, 2. I'm sorry. You have to be out of your ever-living mind if you want to give Cody Bellinger 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. You've got to be out of your freaking mind.
Now, I'm curious. All right, we the North. What are you hearing on your Blue Jays end on where you guys are with Tucker? I'm curious what the atmosphere is amongst the Toronto fan base. Actually, I got to reach out to Blue Jays dad. I'd like to get get his take on it.
They don't care about budget. They'll sign anybody. They want to win.
I mean, because last I heard is they were willing to go to 425.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the years were attached to that.
Last thing that we heard was that Hal Steinbrenner owes $100 million to the city of New York. So that's the priority, people. That is the priority. Not championships, no, but we have to make sure that we pay our bondsmen.
I'll say it again and again. I don't care what your budget is. I don't care what bills you have to pay. Because the money that we give you as fans walking through those doors should show you that money, give us something to show up for, and we'll be there. Donald, don't you have heat? What? What? Because he's wearing a hat?
No. No, John. Send us your heat. Help me, I'm poor. What is what am I, Hal Steinbrenner? Help me, I'm poor. Oh, good. No, I'm never going to forgive Hal Steinbrenner for that. Ever. I don't care. He can do it. But him saying what he owes to the city of New York and the bills that he has to pay and how hard it is to be an owner of the Yankees, I will never, ever forgive him. It was disgusting. It was disgraceful. It was insulting. It was insulting. It's insulting to all our fans who pay extraordinary amounts of money to support the Yankees by going to games and buying the merch and doing all that stuff. Some have to travel very far distances to go to Yankee games and support their team. And then your owner is like there going, yeah, but what about me? I don't give a fuck about you, bro.
Yeah, see, I remember when the Yankees had this mentality. Don't you, Donald? Let's reminisce a little bit. It's the holiday season, a little walk through memory lane. Remember when we were aggressive like that and we had that optimism that the Yankees were just going to go balls in, don't give a shit.
Right?
Baseball is our world and everybody else.
The year is 2009. We have signed Mark Teixeira, AJ Burnett, CC Sabathia. We have signed everybody, and we've got Derek Jeter. We've got Johnny Damon. We got everybody, baby. We got A-Rod, and we are going to torch your asses. That's what we're going to do.
Yep.
Now, fast forward. Now we're in the Mandalorian, and we've landed in 2025, and the Yankees are like, yeah, but we owe we have $100 million to the city of New York. What about me? Fuck out of here.
It's the most pain in the ass. It's the most disturbing, depressing narrative that a sports owner, never mind even, just that it's happening.
Oh, exactly.
Any sports owner crying poverty, you're a fucking moron. And you really need to step back and read the room.
Exactly. It's like if you go to a restaurant. It's like if you go to a restaurant and you want the best cut of meat. And then the owner of the restaurant comes out to you going, yeah, but what about me? I owe such and such to this person, that vendor, this other vendor. I'm sorry, I can't give you the best cut of meat. You're going to be like, I don't care. I'm a fucking customer. I'm paying for the best. It's the same fucking thing.
Before I get your final thoughts, let me sign off. I'll make one analogy on Hal and what he sounds like. He sounds like, and anybody that knows the restaurant, you'll get it. If you don't, look it up. Hal goes to Peter Luger's and orders a Big Mac.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. And if you don't know what Peter Luger's is, look it up. Delicious. But,
oh yeah,
that's Hal Steinbrenner. Hal Steinbrenner goes to Peter
fucking
Luger's
Sardi's in Midtown, and then you get handed a fucking Big Mac. Yeah.
How can you afford Peter Luger's?
Oh God, the pain, the fucking pain.
You know what? I'm posting that on our X account before somebody else takes that.
The pain. But what isn't painful is the fact that we've had a record number of people checking us out. So thank you so much, everybody that has taken the time to sit and watch these two dudes talk Yanks. We do love to talk ball. So thank you for everyone that's been watching. Please do hit the sub button. Everyone that's watched, whether you agree with our takes or not, we don't really mind. It's just we would really appreciate the likes. We love the interaction. So please do hit the like button.
Am I confident we'll get Bo Bichette now?
I would love Bo Bichette. Love Bo Bichette. I mean, listen, I am not opposed to trading Jazz Chisholm and then signing Bo Bichette and put him in second base.
No,
that's your righty back. That's the power righty back.
Get rid of Volpe.
Yes, but I also understand that we have Caballero, and Caballero is better than Volpe. So, I mean, I would love to give Caballero every opportunity to get that shortstop job. Plus, I also know that Anthony Volpe is Brian Cashman's son, and that considering the nepotism that's involved, then obviously Volpe is going to get every opportunity. I'm just thinking what the Yankees might do. You know what I'm saying? So we know that they love Anthony Volpe. Guy is complete trash. Worst player I've ever seen play for the Yankees. But having said that, we also know that Brian Cashman is related to him. So with that in mind, I'm thinking, maybe trade Jazz, considering you're not going to sign him in free agency next year. And then you got Bo Bichette. And then you got Bo Bichette that can play short, play second. That's probably what I would do.
Yeah. What moves they're gonna? I don't know what they're doing with the infield. They're gonna wait for Volpe. I don't think they're making any big change. I really don't. They're gonna let one. The only Imai needs to be a priority.
Yes.
That's it.
No, I was out on Jazz when Jazz was yawning through the playoffs. Like I was like,
that was kind of
like, go yawn somewhere else, bro. This is the playoffs. I mean, that shouldn't. Could you imagine if George Steinbrenner was the owner and he saw his players yawning on the field?
George would have stormed out of his suite, ran on the field, grabbed his ear like a 3-year-old, get off my field.
Absolutely, and I'd be completely on board with it. It's just this modern generation now where everything's like, oh yeah, but maybe he's tired. Fuck off. Get some sleep then. Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
Monday will be our next show before the holiday break. We do hope that everybody does come and join us on Monday. Monday will be there will be no restrictions on the chat. So whichever platform you are watching on, you will be more than welcome and more than able to put your comments in. So you do not, for Monday, for the holiday, you do not have to be a subscriber to interact with everybody here. And I'm sure it'll be a nice little show before the holiday, talking about all the aggravation that our team gives us. But with that, make sure you do hit that like button.
Let's hope we got Imai by then. So we'll be happy.
God willing. Santa, are you listening? Yes, Imai. But with that, make sure you hit that like button, hit that sub button, share this out with your friends, family, strangers on the corner. Everybody watching on the platforms, whether you're watching on YouTube, on X, on Facebook. If anybody later listening on SportsWire Radio, hope you all do have a great weekend. We will be back Monday. And just remember, wear those pinstripes of pride and play hard.
Let's go.